Hello, good evening. Welcome to Disco Saloon. I'm McKeff and I'm joined here with Beanie, aka Beanstalk, aka Bean, aka Young Loco Yoko. To my right, I've got Ches, aka Bradley, aka Chesney Hawks, aka Young Satellite Sea Spray. And also to my left, I have Jay. So, what's on our mind today, guys?
So I'll kick us off. I think we should do a wee introduction to ourselves, each individually. We'll do a wee bit. That cool with yous?
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Totally.
Yes, sir.
I'll kick us off. And we'll just do who we are, so you've got a wee bit of background on us. So my name is, I'm Musa Dembini, but my name is Aaron, right? So maybe folk will know that because she's probably randos for South America or whatever. But anyway, my name is Aaron, and I'd make daft TikTok videos where I'd just be stupid for somewhere between 30 seconds and a minute. And that's about the extent of my knowledge when it comes to media type stuff. So that's it. I'll pass over to Bradley.
Oh,
And you can come in, sir.
silver medal. Second. Let's go. Hi, my name's Bradley. I also go by Chesney. That was a nickname in school because I happened to be a redhead Fanta man.
Fan of pubes.
Fanta pubes and beer pubes, whatever beverage you would like with orange colouring, I'm there.
Dandelion and burdock.
Mate, I'll take it. I'll take it. I never had that in school, but I mean, that's a bit more smarter than aye. Aye. I've got a drama degree, but I work in social care. And I'm here. That's the math.
My man can act. I'd like to add that my guy is a good actor. Also, that's my brother. So
Aye, we're brothers.
We're brothers. So just for the record.
I know we don't look alike, but we are actually related. Shared the room and all that.
Yep.
So I know what his back looks like, if you get what I mean. You get what my back looks like.
I think you should pass it on to
Right. Calamine Macintosh McFadgen.
Yeah,
I'll
so
pass it to you.
I'm Calamine Macintosh McFadgen, Callum McKeff for short.
Yes.
I'm in a band. I'm a writer. I like to write songs. I like to write little movie things. I used to DJ. I'm still open for bookings if you guys want.
Yes.
Not weddings. Fuck weddings. I'm not doing any fucking weddings.
That's you.
Just clubs, bars. None of that fucking whack fucking Tina Turner shite.
Simply the best.
None of that. Definitely none of that. Yeah. And I did journalism, so I used to interview loads of random people. Interviewed a doctor who was curing cancer once. It was wild.
Sounds cool.
We'll get into that at a later date. That was cool.
Yes.
But that's me. Was once voted most likely to become famous at secondary school.
It's pretty
And that
That's
is
pretty cool.
the highest achievement I've had thus far. I think, yeah.
There's still time.
I actually won Young Musician of the Year when I was 11 for playing the guitar.
There you go, mate.
That's
But
cool.
yeah,
There's still time.
there's loads of time for loads of awards. Yeah, so Jay Martin.
So I'm just Jay, the only one without a nickname.
Yes,
The only one without a nickname? Aye.
Aye.
Jay Martinez.
Because, Jay basically.
Jay
is a
Martinelli.
nickname, so Jay Martinelli. Jay, don't know. I do my right. Never
Jason.
mind. Jason Derulo.
J. Steve Martin.
So, hi, I'm Jay. I'm a 27-year-old film and media student.
Whoa.
Work part-time at a retail shop which will remain nameless just in case they come and sue my ass.
They do good scran.
They do.
Aye.
Aye. Well, that's all we'll say.
That's it.
I've worked in a couple of retail shops, so we'll just I'll no name them so that they don't come and sue my ass and I have to get sacked and stuff like that. What I was
Been
gonna
about
say,
the block, man. You've been running the retail scheme.
I've been running the retail scheme. What else can I say? I don't know. I'm like the ultimate man of culture. I like to think he is, and then you meet
is.
ultimate man of culture, and you're like, well, I'm not as cultured the same, but I'm more cultured than.
You're more cultured than most these names.
I would say
definitely.
top 10% of cultured people in the UK.
Aye.
Top 10% of cultured people in the UK.
UK and hangs about hangs, man.
Yep.
I would
Loads
go as
of
far
hangs.
as say top 15 in Europe.
Aye. I ken things.
Yeah, there's a chance. I think there's a chance in there.
I ken things about things, and that doesn't mean I can fix your sink or your plumbing or whatever.
It's you're the perfect pub quiz contestant, I think. You should really be on the chase. Actually.
I should go on the chase.
I've actually always said every time I watch Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, I would want Jay Martin as my phone of friend.
You just ken the 250k question. Do you know what I mean? I'd probably phone Jay, man. If it was anything.
That's the best sell of all time. If you were on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire and you needed a question answered,
I'd be phoning you.
there is also a chance, but you would phone me, and I would say I've not got a fucking clue. Why did you phone me? You've got a 50-50 chance of me either definitely knowing it or being like, why would you waste your question on me? Anything else about me? I don't even know. That's it. I'm
just
plain.
really handsome as well.
Aye, extremely.
Right, but I can't sit here and say, here's some things about me. I'm a film and media student. I work in a shop and I'm handsome, because that's not going to cut the mustard.
To be fair.
I'll let other folks say the nice things for me, and I'll just degrade myself into the earth. Anyway, I'll stop talking now.
That might get to my quote of the week, because that sparks up the day.
Maybe.
Quote of the week.
You might pull that out that early.
I mean, I'll go there. I can. We've got some stuff we want to
might go
discuss,
there?
but I'm only going off of what you said. So
You do, yeah.
it's not really a quote, but it's more like a phrase that fits, like when the like folks spend a lot of time talking about themselves and they have to almost prove themselves. It's like, don't tell other people that you're great, let other people tell you. Something like that. But it's like, if you're really good at something, folk will tell you you're good at it rather than you having to prove to other people that you're. But that's where I got, because you were like, oh, let other people tell me.
Thanks, bestie. That was nice.
So you'd be great at
basketball.
Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Who-
Or basketball.
Who wants to be a basketball
Shooting
NBA
hoop.
basketball player?
I would love to see you face off with Anne Hegarty after chase.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Michael Jordan or something.
Wait, is Anne Hegarty is her name the Beast?
The Beast? No, the Beast. What's she called?
Is that what she's
Is it not
called?
called the
'cause
Beast?
It's Mark Lebet.
Oh, the Beast is the big guy. The
She's
guy.
is she not? Oh no, it's
should-
the Duchess is the other one.
Is she the jailer? I
She's-
don't know.
Oh, I don't know,
I don't know,
man.
that felt right.
She's
can't remember.
the tough one. I don't even know,
She
man.
is like
That's-
fucking solid. man.
I would love
wall.
to see it. You and her facing off, man. Like,
Dun, 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 dun.
like two.
Get you on, man. I'll pay them.
Should be actual down your neck, man.
Again.
Like, gain it. Like, do you know? I'd love it, man.
Capo of Uruguay, Montevideo.
He kens.
I'll take the 100k tap one, man. Screw yous.
What is your favourite game show at the moment?
I don't know if I watch many game shows actually, but any yous actually tune into any?
Last night I watched Catchphrase
Oh
with
yeah.
Lauren. Proper Saturday
How
night
did you
chill.
do?
I was alright in some of them, but then some of them I'm just like, it isn't until you see it and you're like, oh my god, I'm thick. That makes so much sense, man. I'm actual
Dude, it
thick.
happens
I'm
too
a rubber.
often.
But some of them you're like, nah, I get that, and then you get it and you're like,
I like
That's good.
Pointless. I'll offer like Pointless.
Pointless.
Aye,
That's good.
Pointless. I got a call back for Pointless. I applied for it. I've still got the voicemail.
Do you?
It was me and my pal Ben for uni, and we like applied to get on it. And he was,
Was
like,
it
yeah,
recent
we're actually doing auditions in Glasgow if you guys want to still get involved. And then COVID hit, and it absolutely done us, man.
That's killer, man.
Raging, man.
Boo.
And like some Ben who I was doing it with has been on like 4 game shows, and he has like won cash. He won cash in that Impossible one. I don't know if you've ever seen that.
My guys get shaking hands with somebody behind the scenes, man.
Aye,
How are you getting in
is.
there? Maybe we should be shaking
I'll
hands with him, no?
I'll
I
tell you
mean,
when we're not recording.
all right,
Believe
okay,
it,
okay.
It's
Hush, hush.
also like a route that a lot of folk use to get into like the kind of like the media industries. They'll go into game shows and game shows and game shows, and then it's like, oh look, here's me being like a person on telly that you've already seen in the wheeze that to build
yeah.
up. Like I'm
Like,
sure
I'm comfortable in front of the screen, can
Andrew
I?
Tate therefore on Big Brother and all that kind of stuff, like where it's like that's like a stepping stone to the next thing. And I think a lot of folk went in Big Brother then became famous.
Aye.
So like that is like
Then their own celebrity, Big Brother, man.
Love
It's
Island
wild.
and all like that. Obviously, that Molly Main, that's like she wouldn't have
Aye,
been
that was
who
her
she
thing,
is
wasn't
if she wasn't on that. So
Aye.
it's pretty cool.
It's a pathway, man.
It's
Aye,
pretty much like a
pathway.
ticket to Instagram followers, isn't it?
Aye, it's a ticket to a following, and then what you do with the following depends what brands are after you.
Because like, I don't know if you've watched that Traitors. Did you watch that?
No, but
No.
our
It's
dads,
class,
our
man.
dads had
He's
us
brack
by
at
the
it, man.
neck.
It's
Gone,
so good.
watch the Australian one today. Do you know what I
Watch
mean?
it, man. It is good.
Aye.
But like, see the
That's
guy
it,
that
was
won
good.
it. He is like hitting like numbers, man. He's on like
Is he?
every like
Aye,
TV
like, all over the
program, you know.
place.
Just get.
Mhm.
He was on fucking What's that? It's like the Soccer Saturday thing, but it's like the influencer one in the morning.
Oh, the
Oh,
social.
Saturday social.
He was on that and cunt has nothing
Just
to do
because
with it.
traders.
Ah,
All
Just
right.
because he was like on a reality show.
That's so mad. So
Stupid.
mad.
Once you're on your own, innit?
Aye.
That's it,
You're
man.
now in the eye.
Aye, it's getting it. Aye, literally, man. Big brother.
Right, clean like that. Right, what about a cereal of the week then, Jay? Do you want to
Ooh.
step up with
Oh,
it?
you want me to hit
I
that?
like this, but
Are
I'm
you,
not at
come
you.
on.
are you just saying ruin it? Are we just getting into that?
Aye, we'll come back. We'll circle round to what
Aye,
what
right,
we want to
aye.
discuss. But if I've done the quote, man, then on you go.
Oh, aye, right. Cereal of the week. Oreos. Oreo O's.
Could you describe for us what they are for anybody that's listening or watching that doesn't know?
So I've got no idea the company that makes them, but it must. Obviously, they
Mondelez.
must have. Is it Mondelez?
I don't know. I just
Aye, but actually,
Felt
might
right.
be. Actually,
Do they
could
make
be.
Mesty cereals? Aye, Mondelez.
No, but
makes just stuff in that
Aye.
realm.
Oh, right, okay.
that's
See, I
like,
couldn't tell you that.
that's
that's
they're
low.
one of the big conglomerate companies.
Ah,
that owns
right.
Somehow,
Like P&G
but
kind
they
of
must
thing,
have-
but for cereal.
Aye.
Right.
Somehow, but they
Like
must have
Nestle.
something to do with
Ah,
like
right.
Oreo or something.
Aye.
Like so, Oreo must be involved somewhere. Anyway,
Aye.
so it's chocolate hoops, like Wheatos, and then like weird white circular disc kings that are like saucers. I don't know what they are. They kind of
Right.
taste good. They're soft.
So are
I
they
don't know.
cream flavoured?
They must be. They must be like vanilla flavored
Aye.
or something.
So it's still like an like the form of an Oreo, the
But
substance of an
if
Oreo.
there
But
is anybody out there, including the one guy from Ecuador, if you used to like Wheatos back in the day and now you're like Wheatos are alright, but they were like, I'm talking 2002, they were like the craziest chocolate of all
Aye,
time.
what,
The
Wheatos were slapping.
Oreos are a wee bit like old Wheatos, OG Wheatos. They remind me of.
I'll need to try them.
mind the Wheatos, I don't know if you remember, but the Wheatos when I go back made it, it's like the box and it had the guy in the advert. It was like an old guy making them. Do you know what I mean? It was like in a factory and he was like checking them. I don't know if
Aye.
anyone's remember. He was on the
No,
box,
no,
but
no,
there was like a
you say it.
Wheatos guy.
Yeah.
Kind of like it was Tony Tight for Frosties, man. Like, there was an
man.
actual, there was a Wheatos guy, man.
Aye.
I
What
like
can I
that.
say about them? Don't know. The milk's alright. They're not like they wouldn't blow you away, but that's why I like them because they're like OG Wheatos.
They've got
Alright,
that
cool.
Aura.
Aye, they've got serious
serious
on it. The
Oreos.
milk's alright. And the wee things go soft as onion, so they basically melt in your mouth like they
Nice.
like the onion.
Much RRP price, what we talking?
Oh,
Because I think price plays a part. Do you know what I mean? You
does.
could do a rating if you want, man.
Well,
I'm,
Sure.
see the thing
I'm
is, right,
a visual audio, whatever.
in Ep 1 of Disco Saloon, I talked about Weetabix, and see now Weetabix is honestly like a $5.
Aye,
I think
no
you do
chip.
get quite a lot of them.
Weird that, innit?
Aye.
Mm.
Don't know, man. Wheat
And,
prices or
and you're
something.
not getting on the wheat bisques. Do you know what I mean? You're not on the
Oh,
89p.
hell nah.
Basically a bit of styrofoam in a box. Do you know what I mean?
I think there's $3.50 for the Oreos, but in all honesty, nowadays that's just
Made cereal is.
Aye.
It's going
Box
right.
crave is free. £4, innit?
Shrinkflation, baby.
Aye.
100%.
Bad day to be me. I wonder. Right, this is the last thing I'll say. Do you think I'm gonna eat cereal when I'm like? Because it's kind of weird. Like I don't imagine much. 55.
Aye, like a
there's a
70-year-old guy munching a bowl of cereal.
I like they like porridge and stuff, but like see when you're like 52, you don't really eat cereal every day.
I hope you do.
I hope you do.
No, but do you not
I
think-
agree.
Do you not think
mate,
you're
like,
of like the generation where you grew up
That's true.
eating cereal,
Aye.
so you will?
All
'Cause
You'll
like,
be the-
these
like
days had porridge.
your grandparents were like growing up eating like
Mad
like
porridge.
sludge in the morning,
Aye.
like not even porridge, just
You-
eating like spider webs and that, man.
Aye, just rando stuff off the counter. Aye.
Just dust that's gathered in the corner of your
Pure-
kitchen,
if
man.
it's- if
Going
it's
on,
cooked,
there's,
you'll be eating it.
there's
If it's
breakfast,
in
man.
milk, aye.
We'll put that with a can of Spam, it'll be fine.
Well, that was my question. I don't know. I was just like,
You'll be the new wave old man. Like,
Well, if-
it'll become the norm.
If
Folk
anybody's
eating
got
cereal.
any specific ideas on whether it's suitable for a 50-plus-year-old man to be eating cereal every day, you can let us know.
You can
Like,
let us know, and then you can shove your opinion up your ass. 'Cause they'll be taking it anyway.
He'll be there anyway.
See if one person listens to this, by the way, and they've got a cereal they want me to talk about. If one person listens
Yeah.
to this, comment a cereal. If you are listening, I don't care who you are, where you are, what you are.
do it.
Cereal.
100%. We could get him talking for weeks. Do a separate pod on cereal.
Anyway,
the cereal pod.
Well, what is the overall rating of the Oreo O's?
I just zipped
Yes.
my mouth so I can't talk.
Oh, I feel like
we need a
wait,
rating.
wait, a score?
Aye, look, out of 5 star.
Give it
We're
like
going
a-
out of 5.
like a quality rating, milk rating.
Just so we have consistency.
The milk. Well, I don't think I done that for Weetabix, but I mean I could go back and
Mate, aye.
Retroactively, give them both a score then.
Right. Weetabix 8. Overall score 8 out of 10.
Right.
The milk's maybe like a 5 on Weetabix, or like a 4 because it's basically just sugary milk.
That's kind of
I don't know, like the quality of Weetabix is up there, like 8 or something. I don't know, and then I can't think of anything else. Anyway, Oreo O's.
Aye.
How many O's can you
Ooh.
All the oohs.
out of 10, like a 6.5 maybe. The milk butt is probably 7 or 8, but like overall they're just like, I don't know, you don't really jump out your seat. I think Weetabix is a good juice, baseline standard foundational cereal.
I agree.
Whereas Oreo O's are obviously trying to like flash their ass a wee bit and it doesn't really work. So
Aye.
it's good, but I still like them. But no.
Weetabix is just like the ready salt of cereal in it. Like
aye.
it's a sitting at an 8. Like it does the job. It's good for you. Aye.
It's like James Milner.
Aye, it's the James Milner of cereal.
Aye.
Right, anyway, who was next? 'Cause I've
100%.
chowed the
Will
beef
we go
enough.
into YouTube video of the week?
Aye.
I go for my
Aye.
segment. And my YouTube video, let me just double check so I've got the name so I can actually drop this on here. And I'm going to try and keep it short because it's slightly morbid. Again, the same as Hingy, but that's just, I'm in my feels with it right now, okay? So just need to deal with that.
Slaking.
Woo! Right, so the YouTube, I'll plug the channel, which is called Flesh Simulator.
Of course it is.
Right,
Wouldn't have got anything else.
So it's Flesh Simulator, and I've came across him, and he's like a true crime YouTuber, except he delivers everything incredibly deadpan. Like he just stares at the camera and just tells you the facts. And there is no like beating around the bush. There's no flowery language. He just tells you straight, and it is unreal. Like it's kind of like mildly like you could probably say it's boring. I was falling asleep watching this particular video last night, but it's because I was so comfortable in the guy's presence. Whilst he spoke about, and the video is called "Serial Killing for Fun and Profit," right? So, and I'll quickly just go over it. So basically, what it is it's about this ring of people, right? And it was in the 1970s. It started in 1970. And basically it was this guy and his 2 assistants, which were like 16-year-old boys, and their escapades capturing young boys and then selling them off to the highest bidder, pretty much. And they were making videos and such like with these young boys. John Wayne Gacy was involved, and there was corruption up. I think it was Chicago, but I'm not what to say for definite. Or the political sphere. Like corruption, the CIA covered it up. Like, and I'm not a conspiracy nut, but like the documents are out there. Like they're actual out there. Like they released them. It is crack. So serial killing for fun and profit. Flesh Simulator on YouTube. 50 minutes. Unreal.
50.
Mate, it does the deep dive. He's got the actual files, like the CIA files and stuff. It is so good, man. Like.
Ken,
My man's get receipts.
I know he does.
Do you think we could do like a morbid meter? So like, see, we've got the rating for Jay's cereal.
The milk meter.
Aye, like the milk with the morbid meter. Do you know what I mean?
Aye, we could say morbidity.
I am the milk
I
man.
like in terms of like if you pure love serial killer stuff and the true crime and that, like how much does it tickle that part of your brain out of 10?
See, that's I think why this one particularly stuck with me, because like I've almost became desensitized to normal true crime break-ins, murders, like stuff like that, right? Like that's just like it's just the done thing with a smiley guy or woman, and they're like, "Oh, this happened," right? Like so normally that stuff I just stick it as background noise at this point. But see this guy with his deadpan delivery, and then just like the subject matter and it was tickling all the right areas. So I'm going to get a solid 85% out of 100 on the morbidity meter.
Nice.
And that over time will adjust and change probably, because depending on what I'm watching, it might not necessarily how morbid it is, but how morbidly interesting it is. So that's, but we'll get an 85%.
Good, man.
None of yous are really into true crime
Aye,
overly.
I like
Do you like
true
it? Aye.
crime,
Aye.
I
Have
do
you got
like
any,
it a wee bit, but
YouTubers that
maybe
you
no.
like? Or such?
So I've actually been listening to a guy. So I usually listen to like scary stories to fall asleep.
Oh, there you go, my guy.
What is it with folk in this,
So,
man?
like,
Like,
You either do or you don't.
But,
like,
it's
but
like,
aye,
see, like
I
Skinwalker
need
stories and all
silence.
that, man.
you're
That's
like me that
that's
way.
my game.
I find a lot of my audience.
There's a guy
through
called
that.
Snook, so he does like these
Snook.
like hour and a half long videos, and it's just him like talking
hour
about
and
like
a
Reddit scary stories.
I think
love
I've seen
that.
that Snook before. I actually used to. Does he do creepy pastas now?
I probably used to. Yeah, he's got that kind of. He's got like a great voice for it. But like, see, guys like there's that Bad Things True Crime. You've watched that? It's like where they like do the like what most likely happened, and it's like the most like bush like mysteries and that, and they give like a definitive like thing that they think. So they talk about like John Benet Ramsey and like anyone like any like disappearance and that, and they're like talking about what they think happened. So there was like a Madeleine McCann one, and they go into like some like mad details and stuff.
Do they have that one with a woman? There was a one that I watched on YouTube like years ago, and it was a woman in a fish tank. I think I spoke to you, Aaron, about it once.
Do you mean the water cooler on top of the hotel?
Aye, and she
video
get
footage
funded,
in the
and the
elevator.
elevator,
but it wasn't there.
Aye.
Did they ever find out it? Like,
I think she just had a psychotic break and climbed up there. I think that was
Oh,
what it was.
right, okay.
Aye. I don't know if they didn't have like, enough footage to say like 100%, but there was no defensive ones or anything. I don't think it was like.
I mind being absolutely terrified.
Aye.
Like something, it just was so unsettling,
Aye,
man.
there's
Like
something- there's
that
something to
story.
it.
Aye, there
The
was.
way
It was
in the video I
thingy.
watched, it was good at making you feel unsettled. Anyway,
Aye, 100%. It was. I remember hanging that story, and then it was I'd watched like 10 videos about the same thing, and by the end of it, I was like, all right, probably wasn't anything too bush. But what about you, Jay? You never dip into this?
I, off the top of my head, I can't even remember what this podcast is called, but there was one I did listen to, and I can't even remember any of the crimes or nothing. I remember like one of the very first episodes was like some school in America, and like I think this lassie might have went to like a library or something. She was meant to be meeting her boyfriend, and then apparently it was the boyfriend that killed her.
Ooh, that's it was a
right.
good chance. Like a husband.
It's like a pure famous podcast, whatever it is, and I had to listen to it in a podcast class in college because the lecturer loved it. I'll need to try and fin it.
If you fin it, let us
Because
know.
I actually liked it, and I think it was because it was like the host, like they broke it all down. It was basically like a documentary, except it was.
I think that's a lot of folks' favourite way of consuming true crime now as well, podcasts, because like they can go into more detail because the length, like they're not worrying about how long a YouTube vid is.
There was one that was about the Atlanta child killers. I don't know if you've ever dipped into that. About the Wayne Williams. And it was like a really professional like radio station did like a series, and they went like proper ham on it. Like they were in, and I was in because I was like listening to it doing like pizza deliveries.
Aye.
And I was like, I wasn't getting out of the car for like deliveries because I was like, no way, man.
I love that because I do
Stuck
the same
in.
thing when I'm
So-
doing the deliveries. I'm
so
locked
good.
in a story, and I'm like, ah, man, like they're gonna wait a couple of minutes for their milkshake. Like
I'll send you that one, man.
Aye,
like
please
on
do.
it's on like Apple Podcasts and that. I think it's just called Atlanta Child Murders or something.
Aye.
What's that one? And it's the two women that host it. It's like two American women. No, don't know.
Oh, I don't know,
mind
man.
that one either.
There's
I don't
Crime
know.
Junkies, which is like a
I can't
one.
remember.
I think
They've
that's
done,
two women.
they were in Glasgow doing a tour. No, I can't remember what they're called.
I'd like to
Oh.
take an opportunity to plug the That Chapter podcast because it's the only true crime one that I watch, and Uncle Mike is daddy, so know that he'll ever see this, but like, well, I'm going to plug you anyway, my babe. Like, you know,
my guy.
100%. And that brings us on to Callum for
Yo.
his album of the week.
Let's go.
Hey,
So I've got this is like a low key one. So actually, I didn't realize how low key this one was, but it has like the less than 1,000 listens.
Listen,
Oh,
1,000
that's
on
real low
That is
key.
low key.
That's out in
Which
the
is-
desert.
Whoa.
Somebody's cooking up in the desert.
Yeah, it's Lawrence Arabia
I
style.
like
man.
it.
It's
I like
class.
it.
Aye.
But so it's It's a rapper called Sketch 185 and a producer called Analog Tape Dispenser.
Ooh.
So they had an album called New Age Middle Finger. And so I only got involved with this Sketch 185, not personally involved
Aye.
with, but I only found out about him because he sent to this label called Backwoods Studios, which was like Armand Hammer and Billy Woods and all that, like Fatboy Sharif and Akai Solo, which is a bunch of like cool abstract rappers who are like kicking about there now. So that's how I got to know him. But this like album was before I joined Backwoods, and it's like hard, man. Like it's heavy. Like his lyrics are like mad political, and he's spitting so hard. Like he is going for it, man. Like he is running out of breath halfway through sentences and all that. I'll say
That guy's got a purpose.
I'll say this like line to you. So this is like the opening
for it.
line to one of the tunes. Break bread times hammer and sickle. divide it benevolent, make music so children don't uprise in silence. Like he is
Very
hitting,
nice.
he's hitting some like imagery in that,
Spitting some nasty stuff, man.
like pure energetic, proper boom bap. I'm loving it, man.
Nice.
Like really good. Would recommend.
Unreal
Like
stuff.
high.
Out of 10.
Why?
Oh,
Oh,
out of 10.
yes, I
So
read.
there's a couple of like, so it's like 2011 this was, so it's a wee bit dated, a couple of the tunes, but some of the tunes go so hard. Like there's one that has like a sitar sample in it, and it goes hard.
Might need to tell us what a sitar
Oh,
is.
I said that's the game.
So
might
see,
need-
see like the big like Indian guitar.
Almost
It's
what I
got,
do
like,
something
10
but it might
sounds.
verge on, but it's what see in any film ever, if you see like an Indian place,
Aye, I know. Aye,
Yeah.
aye.
the guitar
And it's got
kinda
that
sound, but
noise.
It's like deep,
Aye.
it's like
Aye, aye.
I could even like make the sound.
Neither could I.
Well, you've definitely
Aye.
seen it. It's like the guy sits like that, and he's got the guitar in his lap, and it's huge, and it's got like 10 different.
Like it
strings.
would, like if it was like a old film, it'd be getting a snake out of a basket or something. Like that. Aye, aye, aye.
Any old
Like the
film
Crash
that's like-
Bandicoot level where they've got the magic carpets. Not, it's probably got a sitar cooking
So
in
it makes you think of like a bunch of guys sitting in a room in like a temple with like the incense
Aye,
burning,
aye, aye.
and they're all like
Right.
meditating.
So-
That's like the sound of
And he
it,
uses that in one of the tracks. That's one of the
and it's
tracks.
peak,
Kind of
man.
mad, man.
Aye.
I would give it. So I'm gonna give it an 8.5 because like the lyrics are like insanely good. Like he's such a good rapper, and I can't believe that he's like this like not known,
Aye.
which is sick.
Yeah, you maybe bring him a couple of extra listeners if we get any.
Defo, man.
His listening to Ecuador is like went sky high.
From Navy to one, man. It's wild.
Yeah, so that's so New Age Middle Finger 2011 Sketch 185 analog tape dispenser.
Right.
Mouthful,
Sweet.
but that's probably why, 'cause it's a fucking mouthful to say.
Aye, maybe.
But he's sick.
Doesn't roll off the tongue when they're saying it in Radio 1, does it?
Nah.
No. That's why he's not there.
Nah.
That's that.
I like that. Like the
Class.
sound of it. Like the sound of it, absolutely.
Yeah, get your ears around that one.
And
Let's
I
do
think we should probably, just whilst we're at it, us three now have a rating system. We're going to need to invent one right here
For
now.
for the
your
quotes.
quotes.
Aye, that's true.
We're going to need to give you one because we can't all be going, what's your rating, and then you don't get a rating.
Right, okay. So came all day,
What
right?
will we call it?
I've got a scale in my head. So
Right.
like, see how you were saying, oh, the lyrics and all that, like, oh, it goes hard, right? We're going to, so a quote I think can also go hard.
Aye.
So like, I think this week's quote saying somebody else has to tell you you're great, you can't tell yourself you're great. It's kind of easy mode. It's
Easy
no,
mode.
it's not quite hitting there like, whoa, I'm getting out of my bed today and I'm going
Right,
to shred
Yeah.
the earth. Do you know what I mean?
So how are you going to do the scale? Because yours are numerical. So it's just...
So what, to join the numerical?
No, you don't need to
But
do
what,
numerical. But if you're saying that's easy mode, what are we aspiring on this podcast
Like-
for you to get to? Sicko mode?
Like I'd be like easy, medium, hard, like concrete, and then like I don't know what's the hardest like hang in the world, man. Diamond.
Diamond
Aye.
hard.
Either that or I could go like 1 to 5, and it was like a 2 this week. Whatever you are feeling.
Aye. Could also be something like, who's not good at quotes? I was going to say Peter Griffin, but he probably does. But like Peter Griffin to like Marcus Aurelius or something.
Aye, aye.
It's like,
Aye,
But
aye, you could
aye.
use just like a like
Could go for like SpongeBob to like meditations. Do you know what I mean?
aye.
My guy was hitting SpongeBob this week, maybe.
SpongeBob sentence.
Aye.
SpongeBob hits, man.
Well, SpongeBob probably does have some good lore in there that just make the kids go, "Whoa!"
Probably-
I think some
Probably
shit.
Patrick Stars, you know. Patrick.
Aye,
The Hoover for Teletubbies, that.
aye.
He's not
Disney
he's not spitting.
Channel.
Aye, he's not spitting.
Just making that noise. So the Hoover for Teletubbies could be the Pope.
to like
that a Hoover?
to like Tinky Winky.
Aye.
Is that a Hoover?
Aye.
Aye.
Can't remember its name right
I'll
now.
let the baby son.
No,
Baby son Disney's saying, man, he's
it just
hard.
goes.
But I'd say it was like easy level this week. Nothing too crazy. I think it's quite good. Like, oh, somebody else has to tell you you're great, but it's not like there is ones where you read it and you're like,
Aye, that's peak.
Aye.
you've got me brick. Aye.
Right. That's sweet. When what that'll do just nicely captures all 4 days off. We've all got a rating system that can lead us into our next segment starting now. So our next segment, right? So what we're going to discuss is why we're doing this, the podcast, and what the podcast is. So like Disco Saloon, why Disco Saloon? So somebody want to kick us off? Why we're doing it? I have no. I mean,
you locked me straight in the soul, so
go for it.
aye. So we're talking specifically why I'm doing this.
I suppose
What kind of?
That's why we're doing it in general.
All right.
Aye.
I'd say the main theme that we're doing this is because we want to do something rather than no do something.
Aye.
Because I think, and specifically for me, and I reckon there's some resonation we use as well.
Resonation. Yes.
That we've spent a lot of time talking about things and saying we're going to do things and that we're going to be specific types of people, and then it doesn't happen. And man's tired of being that.
Man's
And
tired of being tired.
man's tired of being tired, and he's tired of being scared. And he's my guy's trying to rip the 12 tall covers off him and get out of his bed. Know what I mean? And start a podcast with his three white friends. Know what I mean? This is it.
What else were we going to do but start a podcast?
Exactly.
Aye.
What else you got to do? Sit in your
Sitting in your house wanking off the pop idol. Nah, fuck that. Tottenham away. So that's why the podcast. No, I suppose there's many
Aye, there
intrinsic
is many.
reasons for us. For me, defo a wee bit of doing rather than just saying you're going to do things. Folk listening in, not just myself, I know this. I maybe wouldn't couldn't Callum, couldn't McKeff in this, but us three, me, Bradley, Jay, we are very much dreamers. Like, we are
Yes,
big
sir.
time, and we like we like to say and yap a lot of nonsense. How many harebrained schemes across the years?
200.
Many.
Aye, 200 million
Many.
harebrained schemes. Like, and we're constantly cooking them up. And this is one of these schemes, but if you're listening to this, the one random guy from Venezuela, right? Like, if you're listening to this, then that means that we're actually doing it. So that means something in the context of our individual meaningless lives, I suppose. What about you, Callum? Because we say you're a dreamer. Not so much a dreamer. You're a doer. You're in a band. You've got
Aye.
a degree in
You
whatnot.
don't dream, you act.
You're
I'm just trying to
What's
reach
purpose?
a emotional psychological breakthrough.
yes.
Oh, yes. Yes.
I'm just trying to.
That's
find,
an answer.
Trying to find who I am.
Fucking right.
Cook.
Too right.
Let him cook.
Let him
Hopefully,
cook.
hopefully the answer comes within like season 2.
That would be ideal.
Hopefully.
I mean, I'd like that and all. Like I'd
aye,
like
devil.
some balance of my chakra. You
Aye.
know,
I,
like
like, I
Find
am
my
looking
reason.
for this pod to go deep, and we end up with tears at some point.
No,
I would
I
love
like
tears.
it. No.
Trust.
I
Think of
agree.
that, man.
across time, tears will come. Like that's
tears on the mic, man.
100%.
come.
Aye,
All around.
I'm just
us.
looking to just hang out with my bros, man.
aye.
Aye.
That's like
And
there
just
is.
talk about like shit.
It's good
Aye.
fun. Like that's
I
like
can't
in it. Like
Because
Aye.
we don't get to do that.
No.
enough.
this is it. This is hang time. Like for the
Aye.
boys. For the boys. But aye, and then like Jay, any wee vignettes for yourself?
I can think of 3 reasons after
Ooh.
that. My well,
Yeah.
Therese.
Tell us all.
That is-
Uno,
that is-
Uno would be, I'm sick of being the guy in my life that just talks rubbish 24/7 to everybody I meet, and nobody really cares. But then there might be folk that care, and so the folk that care, I need them to care that I care.
no, fair
I like
enough.
that. I like it.
Because honestly, I'll just find myself talking to folk, and I'm like, they have no idea. And not that I think I'm better than somebody just because I'm talking about things, but like, I don't know, I just talk so much yappa, and then I'm like looking at somebody, and I'm like, they don't care. But there might be somebody
Aye.
out there that
So
does
you're
care.
just trying to create an opportunity for
yapping.
yapping because you like yapping.
Oh, joke for
there you
them.
go,
Yes.
man.
King.
Aye.
Go
There you
off,
go.
King.
Go off. 100%.
DOS would
Yes.
be, it's a off a good supplement for my studies.
This
Chance
is
to
true.
practice editing, chance to make a podcast, all that kind of stuff.
I would
Just
never have
thinking
thought of that one.
listening.
That's
Aye.
a good one.
Very
flex-
productive.
Like, and it's also just like a thing you can just like tell people and no like a brag, you'd be like, oh,
Aye, but like
Aye,
a day,
something
a
to do.
day
Aye.
something like the same way you would say that you play fitba for like your
Aye,
local team. Like it's you're not
exactly.
bragging
Aye.
about
So
it.
you're-
It's just
you're-
something you
it's
do.
just-
Your third place. We spoke about having a third place. Like folk go to the pub. Do you know what I mean? I don't go to the pub. We don't go to the
Yeah,
pub.
but not so much pub goals
Do you know what I
these
mean?
days.
days.
Some
They
like we
enjoy
like
it
go
now
to the
and then.
cinema and all that. Like, but like an actual third place, like at work, personal
Aye.
life, then you're hanging.
Podcast.
Aye. Podcast. That sounds
Aye.
like a
Right.
decent wee
Yes,
life, man.
We've been brickhead this for a while, by the way.
Aye.
Well, we cooked it like 2 weeks ago, but this has been 5 years in the making.
Aye.
We've
So
thought about
it's
something
like
this
we
for a while.
wanted to do something along these lines. And what is the third?
I think the third reason probably links in with the first one. But I honestly would really just like to be the guy that in like 10 years' time says, Ken, because like folk will do, like, you're in a band now. I
Aye.
don't have a band.
I don't.
Therefore, in 30 years, I can't say to my children that
I
you've
done
got
this.
a TikTok and all.
Aye.
I've got none of this stuff.
Aye.
So I'm thinking in like 30 years, if I'm talking to my weddings and they're like, or like your grandma's or whatever the hell, and they're like, what did you do when you were younger? You can't just say, oh, like I was doing the woods with my pals boozing, because
Aye.
that's no like
Aye.
that is a
That
thing.
fades, aye.
This, however, is actually like you're doing a podcast, you're in a band, that kind of thing, where you can tell folk, be proud of it, and be like,
Aye.
it's something, it's interesting. It's not
Aye.
just I was the loutiest lout of all time.
It's the dedication of time, the process, everything
Aye.
else. It's no just like technically, right. Anybody could fling
Aye.
together a podcast. They could buy
Aye.
the £2
I
mics
mean,
off TikTok.
We
and-
literally have.
right,
Aye,
like you
DIY
can,
podcast.
right? But we're going to treat it with a wee bit of like passion and energy that
We'll care about it.
We'll care about it, and if
Aye.
our folk eventually care about it,
Aye.
that's brilliant. If they don't, we're going to do it anyway, and that's what
Aye.
matters. We're gonna do it anyway.
Sorry, YouTube. Sorry.
So we're gonna do it anyway, and I would say that's pretty on the money. And I think across the board we've kind of covered off everything that we could add in there. For next, we could say like just an explanation, because you might be scratching your noggin going, what does Disco Saloon mean?
Aye.
Is this a disco podcast? Is this a podcast about cowboys? No, it's not actually. But what about Callum? You can kind of give us the wee vignette, the story that came about with the group chat that us four have, if you want to give us the
Aye,
Oh,
so
yes.
the
You're
one
the,
that we-
you're the god, the creator.
Was it me that made it?
Aye, you made it, aye.
Aye, 'cause
the
I-
horse.
Oh, that's
aye,
the
aye.
You
stallion.
made it, then
Yeah,
you named
yes.
it. I think you named
Did
it.
I name it?
Aye, aye.
Sick.
Aye.
I forgot about that.
Aye.
Aye.
I mean,
Aye, because
You
we
keep the receipts.
well we
I
did.
do keep the
Aye.
receipts. I don't know.
You're
I
not-
can't.
I think it rings a bell, man. Because I think it was after
I'm
we did
sure
the
it was
it was
you.
after we did the
And
Barbenheimer.
currently, I'm not going to bust your bubble. But aye. No,
it
no,
was
no,
after,
no,
it
no.
was after we did the Barbenheimer back to back.
Yes,
Aye,
Barbenheimer, baby.
Does it have a? Does see that group chat? Does it have a full stop at the end yet?
No,
No.
I don't think so.
Right. No, don't know then. Right. Anyway, continue.
No, it
Aye.
does not.
Aye, because so we did. Did we do Barbie first and then Oppenheimer? No, we did Oppenheimer,
Oppenheimer
first. didn't we?
first, I think.
And then we
didn't
did
go and
Barbie.
see we all went and seen Oppenheimer separate.
And then we went and seen
Did we
Barbie.
not see it together?
No, they Beanie went
Oh,
and seen
we
it.
saw it with Cam beating that because Mindy was wearing that Japan top.
Specific reference.
We went.
Did you
Aye,
wear
so
a Japan top?
We
though?
went and seen
Aye, so
we
Ca-
went and seen Oppenheimer and we didn't even know until we got outside and we
Aye, he
looked at
took his
Cammy
hoodie
and
off.
goes, he took his hoodie off and goes, Cammy, you're wearing a Japan tab. And he's like, his face trapped me like, hey, you're just in here representing
Aye,
the,
support
the
it.
voice of the
Man.
voiceless.
Aye.
Was it no? Did we not go see with Danny as well? Was it Danny and Cam?
I
can't
was.
even
I'm
remember.
sure. I thought
It
I
was
was with you,
No,
and
I
Gary
think
was
you were
there.
with that guy.
Did we go with Gary?
No.
I'm sure we went.
I actually can't remember.
You went yourself the night before.
Did we?
Aye.
I feel that there wasn't just 2 years, but I feel
There
that
may
there
have been
was, there was
somebody
another
else.
man, another person there.
Anyway,
Anyway, it
what
was-
were we talking about before?
It was after. So it was the four of us went to Barbie,
Yep.
and we fucking loved Barbie
We
so
loved
much.
it
Barbie was
so
class.
much. It touched me in places I'd never been touched.
Aye.
We'll get
100%.
see that's the
Oh,
thing.
then
We'll get into
eventually
that,
we'll get
man.
into the
Like,
weeds,
yeah,
we'll
we'll
get
go
into that.
100%.
Like we should actually
Aye.
we should do like a full episode dedicated to Barbie because that's the reason why we're here.
It was so
That
peak,
could-
man.
That is
They could.
actually true. A Barbie one could be actually great.
Aye.
You wouldn't even need to
100%.
be like,
The green room
Anyway.
one if you watch it.
I'll watch it.
We could do a back to back. Green Barbie.
But Barbie
Green
room, Barbie room,
Barbie room, maybe.
Barbie room.
Don't know, we could do it.
Barbie.
green Barbs,
Aye.
Aye.
But so we went and seen Barbie,
and
right?
then we got
Good
so the wee the like wee bar that they made when the Kens takeover
Yes.
was Kendom Saloon.
Yeah.
Because it was Kendom, wasn't it? Like
Aye,
they named it
Kendom,
Aye,
Kendom.
the
aye,
Kendom,
after
aye.
Barbie, it wasn't Barbie Land, it was Kendom after
Kendom.
that. Aye.
And so obviously Kendom Saloon's just a funny name.
Aye.
Yeah, it's
So
funny.
we went for the kit, named it Kendom Saloon. beautiful stallion
Yep.
as the icon.
This is the group chat. Like, this is specifically,
Aye.
we called it the Kingdom Saloon, and it was the big stallion.
But this is like an offshoot from the main disco chat, which
Yes.
I'm actually, in the grand scheme of things, fresh to the disco.
I'm kind of.
I'm not an OG. I'm actually not an
Fresh meat
OG.
either.
I'm not an OG
Disco
disco
started
man.
off in my bedroom as a COS 2015 chat.
That's how old
That's
we are, folks,
wild.
by the way.
That's like
wild.
that's 9
That's
years ago,
9
and that
years.
was like just a group chat getting made to make a holiday happen.
Nah.
We had just
Was
left
that, is that what it was?
Aye,
I
we
didn't
were
even know the lore of
we were,
mine group
we,
chat.
we were
Aye.
we were still at school. We'd probably just left school because it was like planning a holiday for the next summer. So we'd probably just left school that summer.
Aye, it was. Aye.
So I don't even remember who was in it. I don't know the OG
It
members.
was quite different at the start. It's actually and this is, we're talking about this is Disco 3000, which is our group. So there's like the 4 of us, but then there's another 12, I believe.
I think there's
folks.
more than us.
16 or 17 years.
So like there's another 12, 13 or so members of our big group chat, and that's like the pals that we would like, we'll go to their weddings and stuff, do you know, like that kind of way. And
It's the
that's
homies.
called
The
Disco
homies,
3000, which is a reference to the song by Pulp, Disco 2000, and the group chat before Disco 3000 was called Disco 2000. So there's a lot of lore there, right? But our big group, Disco, we've got that association, then our individual one.
Why did it change?
Because
Because the song was singing about 2000, then it was past.
did you not get a
2000,
new
then-
phone? Were you the admin and got a new phone?
I think I've always been an admin.
So you had to make
on
an
a
air
lot of
group.
them.
So there was a lost, a forgotten, long.
I think there's more
lost.
than one.
Oh,
because there was, I'm sure there was.
Because this
the
one's been
Common
going for
People.
about 4 years, like straight.
Common
Common
people.
People,
Common
aye.
people was one as well. Aye.
Aye.
So there's all these like lost to the sands of time
Like,
group chats.
I ken this only as your brother, like, because I hung about with obviously a lot of the boys, but wasn't like that
Aye.
wasn't my crew.
for
do you know what I
the
mean?
for the lore lovers, Bradley had his own group of friends and
When I
went
was
to
at uni,
university
aye.
and stuff. So he had all this kind of group. Then when he came back down, I was like, no, like let's get him integrated into my group.
Aye.
And then that was like it was a short process because Bradley's funny and a good laugh and likable. So like it was an easy process.
I try too hard
I
sometimes.
didn't even realise this could be a podcast itself.
I kid.
Aye.
My brain's firing
We could
up.
actually deep on the Disco 3000.
I like
chat.
just
Oh, you
lower,
could.
straight lower.
We'll just
go
get
out,
all
we
the
could go
boys
into
in,
how we
man.
all, like I remember the night I got added in, like clear as day. We did like a proper signing. I've got like a signing photo with Aidan Rooney.
That
Where
is
he's
so
got the back
class.
of my top as if I've actually signed a contract. And on the Firewater dance floor as well.
Oh,
Well,
firewater, big up
Don't
firewater.
actually joke. We could next.
Aye,
I reckon we should
we
do
can
that.
deep dive
Aye.
that like 100%, and
Group
like
chat
it's
lore.
any episode
Episodes.
just group chat lore, and like it might not be the most interesting, but we're passionate about it.
Aye.
So then we will bring that good energy for the
And it's your
listeners.
podcast, and I care about it.
And
I
ultimately,
care about this.
aye, like we
So
can
let's
do
do
what
it.
we want with it, I suppose.
Aye,
That's
aye.
it.
So
So
obviously that leads us
Yep.
to Disco Saloon because we couldn't use Kingdom because we would get copyrighted with
Yeah.
the
Aye.
Disney
you know,
guys.
making the big bucks don't want Disney doing our necks,
Aye, aye.
or
And plus
whoever
So
it
end
is,
up wanting to buy us out like everything else.
or Mattel or whoever.
And like Disco Saloon is like a nice dichotomy of like a feminine ideal,
Yep.
and then Saloon's obviously quite a
Masculine.
masculine,
Aye, defo patriarchy
thing,
settings.
which
like,
is also funny because Disco is obviously a Jarvis Crocker reference, who is like a man who's talking about marriage in that song and woman, but then Saloon is from like a Barbie movie, which is another weird thing. So it's like two dichotomies next to each other, but in reverse, they're actually like another dichotomy. Do you know what I mean?
let him cook.
Let him cook.
How weird, but how like that's like a weird little thing. So,
This
but
podcast is a paradox, mate.
Thinking
Aye.
man's
Aye.
podcast.
Do you know you spoke there?
Oxymoron,
My brain
man.
just went.
That's-
I have
that's,
no
aye.
idea what's
Aye.
happening anymore. But yeah, let him
do you,
cook.
do you feel me?
Oh no, I
I know.
understand it now.
What was the first reference? See when you said it was a something Jarvis reference?
Pulp.
Aye, Jarvis.
the
Aye,
singer
Oh,
he's,
Pulp,
aye,
right,
he's the
okay.
writer. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Because obviously, Disco 2000 is about a bird that he then doesn't see and he hopes to see again. You know?
Ah,
and then
aye,
she's
aye,
like
aye,
got
aye.
married and all that, and
Aye,
he's like,
no,
"Oh
it
fuck,
is,
she's
aye.
got married,"
Grew
and
up-
I'm
aye,
like,
aye.
Aye, we'll not
Sitting
sing the
down
song, but
All right.
aye.
just
Aye.
3 seconds. 3 seconds.
Aye, right, aye. So that's aye, right.
So
enough.
that's like
I
a
just
that's like
wanted
a
to
cool
clarify,
little.
but aye, cheers.
That's like a cool little thing.
that is pretty sweet.
So
And
we
that-
like just
that-
merge it together.
Aye, that can't like. So then we've got a Disco Saloon, and that is why it's the Disco. No, it's Disco
Disco
Saloon
Saloon.
podcast.
Aye.
So it is. And just for anybody, like, I imagine if you've made your way here and you're like still tuned in at this point, we'll have YouTube. So if you're listening to it, you can watch it and see all the weird hand movements and weird faces that we put and everything else. Which, I mean, will probably have its own element of humour, but it'll also be on like Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, everything else. Like, we'll tick all the boxes with that stuff, won't we?
I don't even know why I sat there. I just sat up.
well,
I
you
feel
sat up.
feel like a
Feeling
different
it
human
For the
now.
culture.
Aye. And we'll be trying to learn how to do clips and all that kind of stuff, which will then be Instagram and TikTok. We've already secured both those. Is that right? For
Aye,
Disco
we
Saloon?
can.
We're on the Instagram.
The
At
accounts
Disco
are ready.
Saloon. No underscores.
Aye.
we
No
are the
underscores.
very
No,
first
nothing.
Disco Saloon.
No numbers
Because
or anything.
the name disco or the words disco and saloon have never been uttered in the same sentence before until now.
Yep. So if
It's
you're
the name of the podcast.
if you're listening / watching, you can go and follow
Easy to
the
find.
Instagram or TikTok Disco Saloon, straight up at Disco Saloon.
Yeah,
Which is
we'll start sharing the socials and that and start posting on it
Aye.
as soon as it starts to get the ball rolling.
We'll get all that stuff. You can see our 4 sexy mugs.
Yes.
Every now and then. 100%. Aye.
Probably have links to our own stuff and all our
Aye,
own
and
socials
that's
at one point,
aye,
but
like we'll get all that. Like Jay's actually got his own wee, and I hope you don't mind me saying this, a wee photography setting that you use.
Aye.
Aye,
Because we maybe should say we decided to rub my genie's lamp and get the dust off the camera.
Yes,
That
yeah,
I've never used to try and see if we can maybe do something.
100%. That's what we're utilising to record this for YouTube. Jay made a rather hefty purchase. How long ago was that now?
Aye. I was
Start uni?
just there a
2
year
years.
ago.
Aye, year.
No, because I didn't
Just
have
a
it when
year.
I was up in
Aye.
Stirling. It was when I come
Alright,
back down
aye,
to
aye.
Stirling. I was like, I need to find purpose. where is the purpose? Show me him. Aye. So, aye.
And since then, you hadn't really utilised it
No.
much. And do you mind telling the listeners how much dough was spunked on this camera that never get used?
Aye.
Pretty much.
I like numbers, and many
Aye.
other people must like numbers.
So I spent
too,
that
aye.
on a camera, and then I have used it.
Aye, and now you've got your photography Instagram.
Aye.
Do you want to plug that? Like,
Oh, I'll plug that.
Aye,
baby.
plug
get,
it.
Get it plugged.
It's called A Flare of the Lens, but easier to find would be at Jay Shikari on Instagram, and then it's in my bio.
Boom.
There you go. Double plug.
Double plug.
Fitted by the
I
Lecky,
know.
Sparky,
Aye.
whatever.
So that's for all your
Straight up.
photography needs.
Both
A flare of the
gaps.
lens.
You were double plugging with the USB on the side too,
That's
man.
it. You've got it, but you've got it.
no,
and
I'm all for it.
Wait,
Plug away, mate.
whilst I'm at it, like, I mean, you've got. So I've got
You've
my
already quietly plugged.
my TikTok account. If you want to, again, see my face or anything for like 30 seconds to a minute or so. Sometimes eating food, sometimes making jokes, whatever. At Musa Dembini. And do you know, actually, I'm just going to take this opportunity, right? Like, whilst we're here, just to explain the Musa Dembini thing, because I get
I
it.
did.
Because I get-
This is
Full thing yourself,
interest. Intro, man. Aye.
Because a lot of folk think I'm a Celtic fan, and I'm no. I'm definitely no a Celtic fan. My dad would not let me come back in the podcast.
Say it louder
or
for
have
the dad in
legs
the back.
if that was the case.
I'm a Kamala fan. I'm just gonna
Aye,
put that
that's
there.
aye. We could probably just like whilst we're hanging, like I'll explain this wee section, but then you could give like a wee tidbit on like your Fitbit teams, your
Aye.
affiliations.
I'm
you know?
already.
But so for myself, my TikTok, Musa Dembini, and the reason the name is like that, it's been like that for like 2011 or something? Because you can probably like run about that time. That's
I think it
when
might
did
have
we
been-
make Instagram?
It was
Because we would have made it about the
Was it
same
not your
time.
Twitter? Was it not for your
It's
Twitter?
Twitter as well, aye. But
I had Instagram and Twitter. I had Twitter before I had Instagram, so it depends if you had Twitter before you had
I
Instagram.
think you had
roughly.
Twitter before
I had Instagram in
Instagram.
2012 and I had Twitter in like 2010 or something.
So we-
2011.
we could
meet in the
probably say that, which, by the way, dear listener, was 13-ish years ago. That
Yikes.
we are old. We
Really?
were on social media before Snapchat existed. So if you're just like one of these mad yokels that grew on Snapchat, like we're no they guys.
No, I wouldn't. No, man.
No at all. But anyway, Musa in the name, or the Musa Dem, is Musa Dembele, but not the one that played with Celtic. It's the one that played with Spurs, my Belgian goat. It was a centre mid. He had an arslet steel, and he was a baller, mate. Like, it was so good. Go and watch his highlight reel. Like, do we all agree?
No, he was a baller.
Like,
he was
he
an
was-
absolute baller, man.
He was the guy.
Right.
And then my nickname is Beanie, as you'll have picked up for Callum's intro, along with the other various names.
Aye.
Local Yoko it was this
Local
morning.
Yoko tonight, yeah.
Yeah,
I like Local
yeah.
Yoko, it's
I like
quite
that. I think that's funny. But that's it. So I'm not a Celtic fan, but I'm a Tottenham fan and Rangers affiliated. You could say by family. And Jay, for you with football,
So with football, I'm an Arsenal fan. I don't really support a Scottish football team.
No.
No. I never really had one.
you have been to Ibrox, but
Been to Ibrox, been to Rugby Park, been to Celtic Park.
where did you most
Celtic Park?
recently
Aye,
go?
been to Park.
What, at the
Ibrox.
Hamstone? Have you?
Aye, when I was younger,
Oh,
my
right,
dad's pal was a Celtic fan. I just liked fitness.
right.
That's why I think.
Fair enough.
So I've been everywhere. No saying that. Quickly, while we've got. How many minutes have I got left? 2? 3?
Oh,
nice.
Don't
Still
break
got-
the fourth
still got
wall or
enough.
third wall or whatever I'm
8
breaking.
minutes.
But
Aye.
Jay Shikari.
Aye, and Jay Shikari. Aye, the
Aye,
name.
what
Aye.
is it?
What even is
Because
that?
I'm telling you, I still go into places now and they're like, what's your email? And I'm like, oh no. and then it's like, but it is a very humbling experience because you're like, oh, this must be what it feels like to be foreign in England or something. And you're like, this is my name, and they're like, I don't speak, like, I don't understand. So I'll say that, and I was like, that must sound like a weird, like, all my socials, my email, my main email address, every time I make an account, I'm like, Jay Shikari, like.
Aye.
So
aye.
and folk used to come up to me and go, is your second name Shikari?
That's, do you know?
And I'm like,
Aye.
Ken, I wish I could say aye to you, but so there's a band called Enter Shikari, and they were like the first band I went and seen live with like no parental guardian with me.
Present. Yep.
So they're the band I've seen most. I think I must have seen. I think I went and seen them first when I was like 14. What am I now? 27. I think I've probably seen them 13
Whoa.
times because it averages usually once a year.
That's
Aye,
dedication to the cause.
Aye, they're like that because I'm.
Aye. Miller.
And so I don't know. I think it was just one of the things where it was like somebody said it once, and it was like your ears just went. That sounds unreal. Jay Shikari.
I've been calling you J Shack for my
Aye.
phone. Your phone,
Aye.
my phone,
Aye.
your number, or my
Same on mine.
contact name's been J
So
Shack
maybe that's
for
like
like
can I day have
4
a
years.
nickname?
Aye, that
Aye.
because
Well, I don't call you J Martin. I call you J
I was
Shack.
going to actually add a wee extra point in there is that, like, see when social media first kicked off and it was like Instagram, Twitter, and like early days Snapchat as well, your name on that was often how you were referred to
Aye.
by folk from different schools
Aye.
and
Aye.
like folk
Aye.
from further afield. So like a lot of folk, and this is not just like a social media like me making TikToks. When I was going to house parties when I was 16, folk thought my name must have been somewhere run about Musa. Like that was like, and folk would stop to this day. Folk call me Musa and don't know my name is Aaron,
Aye.
like because of that.
That's wild.
So that
Aye,
aye,
wow.
Jay Shikari, aye, we could
'cause
probably
I-
actually
I was called Dafazine for ages.
Dafazine?
Dafazine. 'Cause-
Dafazine.
So I used to get called Fazine. I
Faz-
got
oh,
loads.
like-
I got loads of names.
Right, Fadjin.
But then,
Cosmic
so I
Fadjin.
named my Twitter name
Right.
after. So I picked a random album, and it was The Carter by Lil Wayne, and because it was THA, Da Carter, I was like Dafazine. But then folk just started calling me Dafazine at like parties and that.
That it's funny how
Which is
that like
weird.
it clicks on and then it becomes a thing. But that was especially at that
identity.
time. Like I was the individual was synonymous with their social media presence. Now it's a bit different because we all live real lives and we have
Aye.
jobs and
We're
like
actual guys.
we're normal folk. We're not just like school wains that go to parties.
Aye.
Like we're not that
We're straight
anymore.
up men in the world, man.
But it's pretty cool. Like it's pretty cool. You've got your own one as well. Then that like kind of hangs across that.
That's like a deed Twitter account as well.
Aye, dead to the
don't-
world.
Don't
Aye.
find
Do not dig that up.
There's definitely some like slurs in that one.
Oh, there will be.
Aye.
Aye.
I think we've
I would
all
lose all jobs.
Aye,
all
my
got
old
a bit-
Twitter is aye.
Because
aye.
that's like the
When you're 12,
sensibilities.
you don't care, man. You
and,
don't care.
Aye, the
You
sensibilities
don't
for a
know. You don't know
14-year-old.
what? Aye.
No, then was different, and we can't hold ourselves in contempt
No.
for stuff that was said when we were 13 in 2011. Like
No,
we
no way.
just we can't cancel me if you want, right? Like just do it.
Try me.
Try
Try
me.
me.
I am
Where's your
uncancelable.
nickname for?
You've got a story.
I've probably actually got the longest nickname here, longest standing nickname.
Aye, yours exists before social media.
Aye,
It's no social media one.
Because half of yours was after our uncle got called
I didn't
Beanie.
even mention
you
that,
never even said that.
our uncle is called Beanie.
So it was
that's
Musa
where
them,
I'm young
Beanie.
Bean or young Beanie.
Aye.
Or wee Beanie. Or small Beanie.
I kind of get wee beanie, but then you came about. So folk that were older would call me wee beanie, but then it became aye. So because I've had many nicknames, but obviously being ginger, there used to be a boy that stayed down the street for me. His name was Ian, and I can't remember what happened, but I was like 8 or 9, and he said I looked like Chesney for Coronation Street. And every day, he used to go, "Oh, Chesney, wee Chesney, there's wee Chesney," and I kind of liked it. And I'm no joke, I started with a nickname. I'm a shameless man. I went up to a boy called Dean Hawkshaw. Dean Hawkshaw at school. said a guy called me Chesney. He called me Chesney, and then it stuck. That was 9. I made my nickname off the back of somebody else. So
I mean, they technically made it then.
I go to half Ian. I go to half Ian down the road, but then I get called Chesney, and then for there, I get called. So my Twitter name was Chesney with 3 Y's, or it's Chesney, something like that. I think it was Chesney with 3 Y's. The same as yours, like J Shack, the Fazin, the Fizzine, and then Mr. Dembini. So if you went to his parties or you were drinking Frosty in some random field, somebody'd be like, "Oh, you're that Chesney guy," and folk my name was Chesney. I mind I was in a class with a boy at school. His name was Ian, but it was spelled Eoin, and he walked up to me once and he was like, "Your real name's Chesney, but innit? It is actually Chesney." And I was, "No, you're in like the same maths class as me. My name's Bradley.
Register.
My name's Bradley Reed." Like, what?
What was his name?
Ian Hughes. Do you mind Mr. Hughes?
Aye.
It's his son. Aye. It was in my maths class.
Is that a name or a measurement of time?
Aye,
Eons.
but I'm sure he
PBS Eons.
Aye, Eon, but he used to get called Eon sometimes. It was sound, but
Ken, just when you were saying that thing about that username,
aye.
that's like blew a fart off in my brain.
Aye.
And a good fart, no
What
one
one?
smelly ones. We basically, we cannot start this conversation because I've just looked at the time. We're 57 minutes.
I will
in.
peel it
But to
back.
drop a bomb to peel back a layer for maybe when we're doing this next time.
We're going to just do nicknames in episode.
We
fuck's sake.
basically live in a Black Mirror episode because we grew up in a time where folk were known as a number,
As
or
in,
basically,
aye, a few letters,
basically a
but yeah.
number.
Aye.
Wait, how?
Well, because you were known as Know Your Name, so it's
Aye.
almost like a Black Mirror
Because it was
episode.
online.
It's almost like
Oh.
the year
So-
2300 and
so
your
you-
name is
Aye.
8570.
Right,
Like, that's
where
all
it's
I've
no-
taken. Aye.
aye.
Their
it's
name's
not
like binary code or something.
Aye.
Aaron's bashing on the screen going, "My name's Aaron. It's no Musa, it's
They
Aaron."
also had ats at the start, so it was
Aye.
at something.
Aye,
Chesney.
that was a thing as
Aye.
well, aye. That's pretty cool, actually. It's
Anyway.
interesting.
But that if I can continue, is that
Aye,
right?
go.
Yeah,
Just-
there you go.
So because there is a bit of lore, but it was Chesney. So what happened was I went to school, I got called Chesney, but Aaron's pals, which are now my pals,
Yep.
called me Cheese for Chesney. I don't know where that came from, right? But I started going Cheese, or Young Cheese, and then it was.
It was defo me.
We kind of get. I think Aaron called me. Was it you that started it? Aye.
Defo.
Aye.
100%. But then it's because our family calls you cheese.
Who was it called me Cheese?
Like Ross and Scott.
Ross,
call me
aye.
Ross
So-
does anyway.
Our uncles used to
Beanie.
call us Cheese.
Big Beanie calls
Aye,
him
big,
cheese.
Big
I'm
Beanie
wee Beanie.
calls me Cheese.
Aye.
Aye, so there was Cheese, and then Aaron would
Cheese
call
and
me,
beans.
call me cheese and beans, which never looks actual stuck by the
No,
way.
it
Cheese
never
and beans.
did, never
Not
did.
Really.
No.
So it was Cheese. Then like Tree calls me Cheese all the time.
Aye.
You kind of call me Ches, but
Aye.
it was like, so I was Chesney in school, then I get called Cheese in our pal group, and then when I went to uni I get called Ches because my pal at the time that I moved to Inverness with called me Ches, and then so then when I moved away, I came home, folk called me Chesney, and I think about 3 folk my entire life have actually called me Bradley, and that's my name.
And I never do, and I'm his brother.
Aye.
No, well, no, man. Don't know.
I mind that my best pal, his name's Ryan Short, but it's called Shorty. I called him Ryan once, and it was the weirdest experience ever. He never calls me Bradley either. It's a weird thing. But aye, that's my
Nicknames are
nickname.
strange.
Aye, I love my nickname, but
Aye.
it feels like a caricature of myself. Do you know what I mean? It feels,
100%.
do you know what I mean? It feels like an external version of who I am.
I'd also like to add in that cat, because yours is fat. Say that word again. The Asian.
Da Fazine.
That Fazine.
Aye, we maybe should clear that isn't the actual. I've
That's
never
not his
referred to that.
nickname, but like as in, that's like the old like
That was like when I was like
the handle slash kind of hanging. Whereas like we call Carl McKeff. That's like McKeff.
So the story with McKeff as well, because I used to get called DJ Carl McKeff at school.
Did you?
So that's
because
why
you were
McKeff.
cooking beats and folk were like,
Aye.
aye, right.
I used to make beats when I was like 14. There was one.
You were that guy, man.
There was one I got sold to a
Joe?
group called the Tongue Acrobats, and they made it into a song called Worst Cunts. I
Did
was
they?
14 when I made that.
We should probably clear up by cooking beats. He wasn't making food with beetroots. He means he was producing music.
I was making hard hitting fucking piano loops, man.
Cooking beats.
I
I thought you were
do.
like an old
Cooking-
woman for a second.
Cooking soul, man.
I love
Cooking
that,
mama.
Anyway, that's a story for another one.
Aye, absolutely. Because I think we're probably approaching about time for this episode, so we can probably close it out. We'll say a sayonara, a goodbye.
This is
It's-
actually got to be wild, man.
It's sad that like because I feel like we've got so much material that like and this one that we want to now squeeze the juice out of, but you just need to come back next week. We're not sure on the days when these will be getting posted yet, but just keep an eye. We will be posting on the social feeds and stuff when stuff's gone live. So for me, adios, sayonara,
Au revoir, mon ami.
Keep it rocking.
keep it rocking, my guys. Much love.
Get you.
Okay, yeah.
Like that.